Hey kids, just remember working on Module 5, Lesson 4, more examples of linear functions. Make sure you are looking at exercise number 1, and let's get started. Let's do a little background information. Which number is my input, the number of students or the number of buses? The number of students is going to be my input, which leaves the number of buses to be my output. And that makes sense because the number of buses is a function of the number of students. Alicia looked at Carl's work and saw no errors with his arithmetic, but she said that his function is not actually linear. Alicia is right. Explain why the information given in the table does not express a linear function. I'll give you a hint. Examine your ordered pairs, output to input. So that's output over input. All right, so Alicia is right. I take my first two ordered pairs from my table, 35 and 1 and 70 and 2, and I set them up as a proportion. I get that 70 equals 70. If I'm doing this numerator divided by denominator, 1 divided by 35 gives me this number, and 2 divided by 70 gives me that same number. Okay, so I know that those are equal. I told you in lessons 2 and lesson 3, you want to make sure that you check with the third or fourth pair of values in that table. When I have examined my third ordered pair in the table, I actually realized that 2 and 10 doesn't reduce to the same rate as 3 and 105. Specifically, when I cross multiply, 210 is not equal to 30. So because all of the ordered pairs do not reduce to the same rate, it's not a linear function. Let's look at part B. Is the information presented in the table a discrete function? Remember, is the information presented in the table in part B a discrete function? Remember, a function is considered discrete if our inputs can only be whole numbers. Yes, you should have said that. Yes, it is a discrete function. All right, let's move on to number 2. In number 2, a linear function has a table of values below. It gives the cost of purchasing certain numbers of movie tickets. Write the linear function that represents the total cost, y, for x tickets purchased. Remember, before I can begin to write this function, I need to determine the constant rate. I know that I can take ordered pairs from my table to determine my constant rate. What ordered pair from the table are you picking? Yeah, I'm going to go with the first value. So I'm going to say 27 and 75 hundredths divided by 3. The constant rate for this problem is 9 and 25 hundredths. So that means that one ticket costs $9 and 25 cents. Okay, that means one ticket costs $9 and 25 cents. So we want to write the linear function that's going to represent the total cost for tickets purchased. I know that I want this equation to be in slope-intercept form, where m represents my given distance over my given time and b represents my initial value. What does that equation look like? Y equals 9 25 hundredths x. Is the function discrete? Explain. The function is discrete. You can't have half of a movie ticket, therefore it must be a whole number of tickets. And that should make sense to you. So the answer, what number does the function assign to 4? So when x equals 4, what number does the function assign to 4? Okay? What does this question and your answer mean? When x equals 4, I am being asked to determine the cost of buying 4 tickets. Because x represents the number of tickets, I know that I'm being asked to determine the cost of buying 4 tickets. So this is the cost of 4 tickets. When the function is used and I substitute my given value of 4, I find out that y is 37. Therefore, the problem assigns $37 to 4 tickets. The cost of 4 tickets is $37. Let's go to number 3. A function produces the following value of tables. Make a guess as to the rule that describes this function that follows. Each input is a word from the English language. Let's use the sentence stem. This function assigns blank to blank. Examine your inputs and examine your outputs. See if you can fill in those blanks. Yeah, we should have said that this function assigns each word to its first letter. Banana is assigned to B. Cat is assigned to C. Flipping is assigned to F. Oops is assigned to O. And slushy is assigned to S. Is this function discrete? Yes, this function is discrete. You can't have half of a letter. Okay, so I know that there is a specific value that must be inserted for X. All right, problem set number 1 is going to be your independent practice. Please answer questions A, B, C, and D, and be prepared to turn in this page.